Welcome to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. The show starts in just a moment. Hi, I'm Marty, and I've got a special announcement. Since today is the last day of the month, it's also your final opportunity to pick up all of Brian's training courses in what we call the whole ball of wax for the price of $4.99. Now, new courses, they're headed your way, and that, of course, raises the price on this amazing bundle. But if you buy before midnight tonight, September the 30th, you're going to get grandfathered in for life on all new training courses, and they're yours for free because you bought the whole ball of wax. So head to launchpreneuracademy.com to make the best decision you're going to make all day.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys. You already know what it is. Come on, we've heard the intro about 110 times, and you know what? It's crazy. This is episode like 110, 112, whatever we're at right now with the podcast. Hey, before we jump into it today, we're going to be talking about leaf cleanups, how to make money doing them this fall. A lot of new listeners. Before we jump into everything, I just want to say welcome to the jungle. Thanks for subscribing to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Thanks for listening in. You know, some of the podcasts, they're more meat with, attitude and business mindset and technical aspects that we bring to you about running a successful lawn and landscape business. Some of them are light and fluffy. Some are a little bit more intense, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not sure, where you guys are jumping on the bandwagon, but if you're here listening to this episode, just know that I appreciate you guys and appreciate the support of you guys listening to the show. We are super excited to have you guys listening in today. We're going to be talking about fall cleanups and how to make money with doing them. There's a lot that goes into them. It's not just, hey, rake some leaves, put them in a tarp, although that's kind of where you start. That's where I started at least. But I want to talk to you about how to make the most amount of money possible, some pitfalls along the way, maybe some bottlenecks that, where do we dump the leaves? How do we haul them off if we don't have a dump truck? How do we bag leaves if we don't have a $5,000 bagger or this, $12,000 mower? There's a lot of different things we can do to bridge the gap, put some Band-Aids on the business until you're able to make those investments into that equipment, things that I had to personally work through over my first decade in the business. And then also talking about pricing. I did not make very good money with my leaf cleanups for a long while. And we kind of got that figured out over the last 12 to 18 months. And by the way, as we're having these conversations and talking about how to make money doing fall cleanups and get you guys on the same page, we need to help our customers to get on the same page, right? We need to help them get with the program and to understand that leaf cleanups are not $99, right? Speaking of getting with the program, we're going to kick it over to Marty with Mr. Producer to tell you guys about all the new programs that are now coming out available here at launchpreneuracademy.com.
Sure, Brian, no problem. Actually, it's pretty funny. Do you realize how long it would take for me to tell your great audience about all the new programs? Brian sent me 7 or 8 pages of copy last night going into detail. You guys are going to love the new courses, trust me, but I can only tease a few of them for you right now. At launchpreneuracademy.com, we're adding a how to sell customers and close jobs training program. Also, a postcard training program is going to be available with 4 individual training programs for each postcard, of course, winter, spring, summer, and fall. We're also adding a rate adjustment letter. Just keep listening to future episodes of the podcast as we begin to give you more details on these. And of course, keep checking out launchpreneuracademy.com.
Are you ready to make some serious money this winter with snow and ice management services? Are you looking to position yourself as an industry professional and to protect your bottom line from issues like unstable salt prices? Don't get left out in the cold this winter. Head over to debtfreelandscaper.com to check out the highly sought-after commercial and residential snow plowing contracts. These agreements are available for internet download and are easy to edit and make your own. Debtfreelandscaper.com, the green industry's most professional resource for lawn and landscaping contracts, hiring employees and subcontractors, and where you'll find the same money-making commercial snow contract that numerous contractors like Brian Fullerton have used to dominate the snow and ice management industry. Debtfreelandscaper.com. Head over to debtfreelandscaper.com to get access to these incredible resources today and put yourself in a position to plow through the competition.
Once again, we send it back to the famed Fullerton Unfiltered studio in Novi, Michigan. Here's Brian.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump right back into it. We're going to be talking about all the great information that I can throw out to you guys in 25 minutes or less about how to do fall cleanups. Now, there is such a buzz about fall cleanups because there's a lot of money to be made in them. Like period, case closed. Outside of mowing and mulch and aerations and, maybe retaining walls and brick pavers, for leaf cleanups, like we make pretty good money doing leaf cleanups. It's not uncommon for us to make $275 in an hour and a half, $400, $350 in an hour, 2 hours. You're running at these pretty top tier premium rates of $175, $225 per hour with you and a guy or you by yourself. Now, the reason is because there's a lot of overhead that goes with doing leaf cleanups. And I don't mean like there's a lot of overhead in the sense that you're like, man, there's so much stuff to do a leaf cleanup like while you're there. What I mean is we have to make a lot of upfront capital investments to do leaf cleanups and to do them effectively, right? $500 backpack blowers, $4,000 dump inserts, $7,000 dump trailers, $4,000 baggers, $15,000 mowers. I was looking at a Hurricane, stand on leaf blower, the Z3K, Z3000. It's like $12,000, $800, 13 grand. I'm like 90% sure I'm going to pick one up this fall, just to help us with our leaf cleanups with a 2-man team, Rob and myself. But yes, to be more productive, but two, just to have a little bit more convenience. I'm getting older, man. Like I don't want to be out there freezing my butt off and doing the deal. We have a little bit of cash coming in. So I was like, you know what? It's 13 grand. I don't mind making that investment into one of them. Am I going to be doing that my first 3 or 4 years into the business? Probably not. But, we're in year 15. Okay. Like in the last 3 years, 4 years, I just did a podcast last week, Friday, talking about raising rates and knowing your value and getting your money together. Well, just by having increased rates the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to put a couple bucks in the bank. And, this fall, not only do we have a little bit of money to reinvest into the business, but I want to kind of shore up the 25 grand hit that we took this March, April when our governor shut us down. I don't take it for granted that I can go on out there and drum up more business. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to crush it with leaf cleanups. We're going to get the tools to make more money. Just because we're down 20 grand, year over year or whatever, that's not an excuse to finish under and not to hit my financial goals. Even if the world's ending and my governor is a turd, right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to make up a lot of that with leaf cleanups, and you get a leaf cleanup and you get a leaf cleanup and you get a leaf cleanup, right? All right, so let's get into it. Let's start breaking it down really quick. When we're talking about equipment, here's some of the basics that we're going to need. Baggers, right? Leaf vacuums, backpack blowers, tarps. I wrote down X Blades from Ballard Inc. Little shout out to those guys. Catch Pros, also from Ballard Inc. There is the Accelerator Bagger. That's another great bagger option. We have that one as well. Mulch the leaves up, and then you can always vacuum them. Standard baggers and zero-turn baggers. So let's talk about equipment. We're going to go through this for about 5 or 6 minutes. When you do a leaf cleanup, let's talk about the basic setup of how you're going to do a leaf cleanup. The first thing we're going to do is when we're looking at the job, and we'll go into pricing here in a second, but it's kind of like reverse order from mowing. Normally we're mowing, we trim, we edge, we blow, right? We cut the lawn, we trim it, and then we're edging or, not edging the sidewalk that week, whatever. And we blow all those clippings back in the lawn. Well, we kind of do the opposite when we're doing a leaf cleanup, just to give you the lay of the land. By the way, we have a whole, leaf cleanup training program for $49, launchpreneuracademy.com. You can always learn more, and promo code podcast does save 10%. So if you want like the nitty gritty and videos and show you exactly how to do that, of course, we do have a training program to help get you guys up to speed. But let's do this. You kind of do it backwards when you do a leaf cleanup, right? Spring or fall. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our pruning. We're going to, trim, bushes that need to be trimmed. That's always an extra fee for us. But the perennials, like the hostas, the daylilies, the annual flowers, any of the tall grasses that are, inside the property, the decorative, like tall, grasses. I don't know all my plant pruning names, okay? Or my plant names. Give me a break. If you do, God bless you. I'd love to. I just don't have the time to invest into that right now. Down the road, I definitely will be. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The big grasses, put some duct tape around them, put some string around around them, put some yarn around them, or just have your friend or your helper bear hug it, and then use the hedge trimmer, saw it off at the bottom, throw it in the dump. You're good to go. So we're going to be pruning. Then we're going to be blowing all the leaves out of the mulch beds and the landscape beds, getting it into the middle of the yard, and then we're going to be vacuuming with the mower to suck up all those leaves. Now, in fact, if the leaves are dry or drier, we can always, mulch those leaves up a little bit, mince them up, so there's less air that is taking place in those baggers, whether it's a Catch Pro or the Ultra Vac mower vacuum that you have for the mower. So that's what a little tip I learned over the last 2 years from you guys was to put the discharge chute down, or have a mower with a mulching kit on it, and you can mulch a lot of those leaves either A, back into the lawn, or B, mince them up into a smaller size, and that is going to allow you to vacuum or pick up 2 to 3x amount of volume of debris or leaves when you're bagging them all up. Really, really cool option there. So basically a leaf cleanup, we kind of do it backwards, right? We clean out the beds, we pull all the flowers, prune what we need to. Pruning is always extra for us, any of the big stuff. And then we get all those leaves into the front yard or the backyard, vacuum them all up, and either we're hauling them away or we're dumping them in the woods. Tarps are a great option too. If you guys don't have a lot of money getting started, besides Catch Pros that you can get at ballard-inc.com. I think Brian said still saves you 10% there, which I know it does. But Catch Pros, those are great. $400 for a bagger, and you can throw those on pretty much any stander. You can throw them on pretty much any zero turn. They are sometimes bracket specific, so they're plug and play for like the X-Mark decks, I know. But Corey and I were talking just the other day, and some of them you do need to get a special bracket and then drill into the edge of the deck to mount those baggers. But $400 sure beats $2,500 for a standard vacuum system and $4,000 for a zero turn vacuum system. Now, in the meantime, something that is probably the most asked about demo that you guys all want to see is the X-Blade setup. Now, I get a ton of DMs from you guys about the X-Blades. You guys, teach me stuff all the time. And so the X-Blade setup is 2 blades on a zero turn. There's a bracket there that keeps them at a 90 degree, so they're perfectly crossed. They're perfectly X'd. You can add those to most mowers, no problem. Corey was educating me because I'm like, well, isn't that like extra wear and tear on the clutch or the belts or the pulleys? And he said, nope, engage them at a lower RPM. On the mower, at half throttle or a third throttle, and then bring them up to speed because there is more tension on the belt and the clutch when you engage them, but not when the thing is running. And I go, well, if they made it, if they were supposed to be like that, why wouldn't the mowers come with them? And Corey goes, well, dude, he goes, I got a bunch of motorcycles and they all come with exhausts and, different pipes, but I can always add different aftermarket pipes to get extra horsepower, and it's not going to change anything with the engine. It just is going to give me some more power and help with performance. I'm like, okay, good point. So Corey knows what he's doing. By the way, Corey's put them on like every single mower, thousands and thousands of customers so far. We haven't heard of anybody, blowing up spindles or bearings or belts or clutches or, destroying motors or anything like that. So fear not. Now, I will say I'm still going to put them through the ringer as a video. We're going to be doing that here over the next couple of weeks. Corey's sending me a care package to use the X-Blades as well. So I'm excited about that. So if you guys are just getting started, or even if you guys are a veteran and you have these different mower setups, put the X-Blades on there, mulch those leaves, pulverize them. And what most guys are doing is a high lift blade on the bottom and then a shredder blade on top. Corey's got those Ripper and Razor blades, the brand new gray blades that he has. If you want to get your lawnmower blades online and never go to a dealer again to get lawnmower blades, there you go. I know a bunch of you guys used the Brian's 10 code about 2 weeks ago when those came out on pre-order. If you watch Corey Ballard on like Instagram on Ballard _ products, he had 250 orders that came in that he's moving those per day for you guys. And they're working like 7 days a week to help fulfill those orders to make sure you guys get your blades by fall. Anyway, X-Blades, great option for you guys if you're just getting into leaf cleanup, into the leaf cleanup game. You can use them on a walk behind, a stander, or zero turn. Totally up to you. Catch Pros and the aluminum baggers as well. If you have a stand-on unit or it's your first or second year in business, you don't have this, $15,000 mower with this $3,000 bagger. I get it. But you can justify $400 for a Catch Pro aluminum bagger. Yeah, you're going to have to dump it out 10 times, but get that mower, put the X-Blades on it, before you throw the Catch Pro on there, go and mow the lawn 2 or 3 different times. Mince those leaves up as small as possible. And then on your third pass, put on the Catch Pro and then bag up the smaller minced leaves. So you're kind of mulching some of the leaves. You're putting it back into the turf, which is helpful for the growth of the grass and the turf. And then all the other leaves you're able to bag and take with you. Now, the other things we're going to talk about is standers, baggers. I haven't had too much experience with those powered vacuum systems with the baggers for stand-on units. I know our boy Luke from ML Lawn Care, he was just on the podcast 2 days ago on Monday, did an amazing job on the podcast. The guy's a stud. He does a great job. Actually, he really does. He literally cuts grass really, really well. Beautiful stripes. He's up in Oxford, Lapeer, Michigan, about an hour north east of where I'm at. And 20-year-old kid, just a stud. Go follow him at ML Lawn Care on Instagram and check out his stripe videos and his stripe game. But not only that, his powered bagger for the Skag. I think he has a 61 and one of the best bagger setups for stander that I personally know of. I don't know of too many other stand-on baggers that have a powered vacuum system. And then also when we're talking about zero-turn baggers, your Ultravacs, your Skags, your Ferrises, your Hustlers, they all have bagger systems that you can use. The thing with those is they are 3 or 4 gram. So it is a little bit more of an all-in commitment. But that's basically the breakdown when it comes to all the different equipment when it comes to doing leaf cleanups, besides your dump insert, your dump trailer, and the simple stuff like your backpack blowers. So let's do this really quick. When I see you guys out there doing leaves, you guys are trying to make the most amount possible. We're going to talk about pricing here in just a quick second. Let's do this. Speaking of when I see you guys next, we're going to see a lot of you guys here at Launchpreneur Academy Live 2020. And we did get the all clear just today that the event is a go. Our governor, although a tyrant, apparently made some executive orders under pressure, most likely, because other states are completely opened up, and we are having Launchpreneur Academy Live 2020.
This industry's largest peer-to-peer led training event is just around the corner. And if you guys are ready to bump it up a notch and lay the foundation for an incredibly successful 2021, then Launchpreneur Academy Live 2020 is an absolute must-attend event. Launchpreneur Academy Live. The fun takes place November 7th in Novi, Michigan at the Suburban Collection Showplace. This year we have 6 amazing speakers, including Nick Carlson, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Corey Ballard, Jeff Joyner, Keith Kalfas, and Stanley Genetic. This all-day long exclusive conference focuses on safety training, sales training, and features live panels and demos as well. You definitely don't want to miss out. Refocus, regroup, and re-engage with us this fall at Launchpreneur Academy Live 2020. We're so excited to host you guys in Novi, Michigan and help propel your business to the next level. Hotels and event registration information can all be found at launchpreneuracademy.com and in today's show notes. And follow along as the excitement builds with the Instagram hashtag LAL2020. See you November 7th.
Ratings and reviews.
Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Let's jump right in. These reviews have been rolling in at a record clip. We are certainly thankful. Alex Stanton says, always a great show. I've watched Brian's YouTube channel for years. I've been binging the podcast all summer. Brian, Julio, and Paul have inspired me to keep mowing and continue my education, both in the classroom and working out in the field. Thanks for everything that you do. 98 Skag writes a nice review. These are all 5-star reviews, by the way. Every night I take my dog for a walk. I listen to this podcast all the way through. That's a long walk. I can't get enough of it. And to be able to have such helpful information is a blessing. Not only is it educational, but it sure keeps me entertained. Highly recommend. From Roach Brothers. What was that? Wasn't that a Cheech and Chong movie? I might be thinking of something else. Roach Brothers Lawn Care. Brian, your podcast is the best in the industry. From the amazing guest on your show to the advice that you give us in every episode, we would just like to say thank you. Keep up the good work. And that was from Matthew, again, of Roach Brothers Lawn Care. B. Nathan, 7. Really started to dive into this podcast this past week while out mowing. It's Friday, and since Monday, I'm about 15 episodes in, and the amount of information and knowledge I've gained already has just been amazing. Brian's content is spot on, and if you're not taking advantage, listen to this. He says, if you're not taking advantage of this, step aside while many others are. I like that attitude. Bring some attitude when you do these reviews. I really want to see some creativity as we move forward with this. He goes on to say, I can say for myself, my brain has already started switching gears with how I operate my business. We are a small 100K a year business, but stand by for the future. Thanks, Brian, and all of your guests on the show. Keep it up. And he says you can follow him on Instagram at Baker's Lawn and Landscape LLC. Well, I just followed those guys. And remember, it's Brian's Lawn Maintenance on IG if you want to follow us.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
All right, guys. Well, let's get right back into it. Again, thank you so much to Marty for bringing you guys all the show sponsors, all the show notes, and all the show information. And by the way, come on, Paul, how about those for 2 slick transitions for the podcast on this episode? Paul was giving me crap on his podcast, the Green Industry Podcast, as Paul usually does. He's a butt kicker. But Paul, he keeps me sharp out there. And the funny thing is, we did apply to be an Essentia affiliate or ambassador, and it was super exciting until we got rejected. So anyway, when I say I'm going to take a sip of water for right now, it is not going to be Essentia. But you know what? Paul, although he gives me crap about drinking my Essentia water and trying to plug it, and I don't get paid to promote Essentia water, but if anybody got paid to drink water, it's Paul Jameson with Pellegrino, okay? Paul talks about and drinks more Pellegrino water than anybody I know. In fact, it is a true statement, at least I think it is, that every time you buy Paul's rate adjustment letter for $20, he goes out and buys 2 cases of Pellegrino water. So if you guys want to help Paul feed the addiction and help him get chiseled, because he's always working out to try to find a hottie with a body and try to find his beautiful wife, every time you guys buy a rate adjustment letter, Paul goes out and buys 2 cases of Pellegrino. In fact, funny story, I thought about shipping Paul a pallet of Pellegrino water. It probably cost me like $500, $1,000, but that would be super, super funny. And because I know Paul's got an apartment, can you imagine if like he came home one day and there's 200 plus cases of Pellegrino water like on a pallet outside his front door, like he wouldn't know what to do with it? I don't know. I think that's funny. I'm into that kind of stuff. When they say you make those YouTube millions, like you kind of like go a little crazy. Yeah, we might be there right about now. So I don't know. Do you guys think I should send Paul a couple hundred cases of Pellegrino water? Where would he stack it? What would he do with it? But you know what? I'm not going to send him like 200 cases of water on one order. I'm going to buy like 50 cases a day for about a week and just keep having the Amazon delivery guy stack them in front of his door. So any which way. So we're not Essentia, proud on this channel anymore. I'm just kidding. I love Essentia water. But Paul, he's Pellegrino, man. He drinks that stuff with pinky up. You know what I mean? He tips the pinky, and Paul's next level, very Fullerton. So, all right, we talked about equipment. A couple other things here that I got written down. I'm not really a wordsmith here. We've got our backpack blowers, right? Backpack blowers are not cheap. You guys always hear Caleb Allman, for example, say, get the most expensive piece of equipment you can afford at the time. So when we're talking about leaf cleanup, the most powerful backpack blowers are going to make a world of difference. I know you can get by blowing grass with an Echo 580, a Red Max 5150, and I think like a 350 or whatever it is for steel. Now, when you're trying to do leaf cleanup, it is going to be all about the volume of air. Those CFMs, right? Anything over 7, 8, 900 is going to do you wonders. So when you're starting to buy a backpack blower, you're like, well, I can blow grass with a PB 770 from Echo or a 580 from Echo. You sure can. And you can get that blower for $350, $400, maybe $499. But that blower for another $50 or $100 more, it is going to make a world of difference with being able to use that blower year-round for spring and fall cleanups. And moving leaves with a small tube leaf blower is not fun. I was working with a friend learning the business. It's like 5 years ago, and he's a nice guy, but we were using like little Husqvarna, like 150 BTS backpack blowers. They were like, 25, 27, 35, maybe CC, little tiny leaf blowers with a little 1.5, 2 inch tube. I'm like, what is this stuff? But they were using it to feather mulch. They were using it in landscape beds, just little touch up stuff. But we were using those one time, and I'm like, what are we doing here? And I went and ripped out my 75 7500s, leaf blowers, my Red Max 7500s, and it was a game changer. And now, since then we've upgraded to 8500s, 8550s. By the way, Echo 8010, great blower. Steel BR 800, great blower. Awesome options for you guys out there, but get the most blower you can if you're doing leaf cleanups. You will drive yourself crazy trying to move leaves with a smaller powered, less CFM leaf blower, right? So not to beat a dead horse there, but if you're going to do leaf cleanups or you think you're going to do leaf cleanups long-term, invest that extra 50 or $100 and get the nicer leaf blower. When it comes to the dump insert, I get a lot of questions about the buyer's dump insert. Ours was about $4,000 installed, like $3,800. It is a solid investment for my business. My bottleneck was always hauling the leaf and grass material away, right? Back in the day, we had utility trailers, and that's what I did. I bagged everything up. I got 20 different Meyer bags. We would literally bag them all up, and I put them curbside at my mom's house. You're like, well, that's not professional. Nope, sure wasn't, but what do you want from me, okay? That's what we did. I would go and do, back then, by the way, I do 10 or 15 leaf cleanups. It wasn't super like, Brian's law maintenance like we are today, whatever that means. Back in the day, I would do 10 or 15 leaf cleanups. We do them for like, $149, and I would bag maybe 4 leaf bags worth of material, and I would put them curbside at my mom's place. I didn't even know what a dump is. I didn't know where a dump was, like a public waste dump, or where you could take plant material. I didn't even know what those were. I didn't even know how that is. By the way, you can go look on your city or town or where you're at and just type in yard waste or public waste. Some take like actual trash and like concrete and metal. Some are like organic material only. You're looking for like the organic material places. We can take leaf material, shrubs, trees, logs, wood, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's going to compost. They're going to throw it through the big shredder machines, and it's going to turn into compost, and then they resell it back to a supplier that sells it back to you. So you can usually dump a dump insert or a dump trailer for $20 to $50. It really depends. Everybody's rates are different. I'm sure in the more like urban environments, it's probably going to cost more money. The New England states, God bless you guys. Everything's always more money over there. But for us, my dump insert, it's about 3 yards worth of material that I can put in that thing with one side boards. It's about $25 for a flat rate dump. Now, this year we're going to be making double walled sides for my dump insert and being able to put 4 or 5 yards of leaf material. And then we'll put a little board on the back so we can stack that thing, good 2-3 feet tall in that dump insert. Then we'll be able to get 4 or 5 yards in there, and they might charge me $25, $30, $35. When you go to a yard, it's very, very simple. There's always a booth or a ticket window. You fill out your information. They charge your card on file, pull your tarp so they can see what's inside, so there's no hanky-panky. Then they'll tell you to go somewhere in the dump, back up somewhere, dump it all out, and you're good to go. Now, that could be, $50, could be $100, could be $200 if you have a big dump trailer. Usually it's like $20 to $75. It's actually pretty nominal. Now, for me, again, to go full circle, my bottleneck was always, what do I do with the plant material? Now, if you have a truck of any capacity, an F-150, an F-250, whatever, a couple options. You can always throw a tarp in the back. Now, maybe double tarp it because that stuff can add up to some pretty, hefty weight. And you don't want to just pull on the tarp and it just, rip instantly. So maybe double tarp it. Another option is those truck tailgate little roller systems that it's like a wind up, roll up tarp that you can use and it just rolls right off the edge of the tailgate bed. Is it, the most sexy thing? Do you look like the cool, contractor? No, you kind of look like a dork, but who cares, dude? You're making, an extra $500 to $1,000 a day doing cleanups. You got to start somewhere. So you can get those tailgate conveyor spreaders on like Northern Tool, Ace Hardware stores, Google, Amazon, $150, $200. They strap to your tailgate. A lot of you guys use them. A lot of you guys use them for rock, for mulch, for stone, and then also plant material. So if you have a truck and you're using a Catch Pro or even a bagger system on a zero-turn mower, well then dump it in the back of your bed of your truck. Get those tools out of there, get your stupid milk crates out, and use that thing for what it is, and that is hauling stuff around. Now, after that, you can throw a dump insert. My dump insert, like I said, was $3,800. We got the steel black one. I always get asked if I was going to do it all again, would I get the stainless? Not really. The stainless wasn't going to look really nice with my red truck, so we went with the steel option, the black powder coated. It's been, I guess, almost 3 years, maybe 4 years now. Not a lot of rust on it at all. I thought it'd be a rust bucket by now in the Midwest with the salt. Frankly, it's holding up really, really well. I can get another 5 years out of that thing. Absolutely no problem. And then when I sell it, I can still get $1,500, $2,000 for it. When it comes to, and just looking at some different things here, equipment is also going to be like your clothing. I know it's one that we kind of overlook, but your Cujo boots. The new boots are out. Order a half size up if you guys want to get Cujo boots. Same thing, Brian's 10 will save you, I think, $10 or 10%, and you get free shipping. So I wear boots all fall, all spring. It's cold. I get cold really quick. I got the girly hands that get like really cold. It's like cold hands, warm heart. Like I should have been a doctor, whatever they say. I don't know what it is. My hands get just numbingly cold. And when my hands get numbingly cold, I turn into a whiny, fussy baby and I need a Snickers. You guys know what I'm saying? So I wear like really nice felt heated gloves or felt gloves like the ones from Milwaukee. They're incredible. Guys, none of this is like sponsored. I'm just talking out loud. Okay. So relax. But Milwaukee has some really, really nice gloves for snow and fall cleanups. You can get those usually this time of year moving forward. $25 for a nice set. They have like the felt kind of fleecy inside. Really, really nice. If you're just like, man hands or die. Okay. Whatever, dude. Go wear your leather gloves. Go wear your, your FG feel good, feel grip, whatever they call them. Gloves. They're $20. No matter what though, wear gloves in the fall. Okay, you're pruning stuff, you're pulling stuff, you're picking things off the ground. You don't know what's in the ground. You can't see. You're digging, mud off the baggers. You're wiping things down. Your hands are going to be just caked dirty by the end of the first 2 or 3 cleanups if you're not wearing gloves. So wear gloves, wear boots. The reason boots is because everything's muddy. We want a little bit more ankle support out there. You're going to be walking a lot of the lawns. You're not going to be staying on the perimeters of the property trimming grass. You're not going to be walking your same foot patterns. You're going to be doing 10x amount of walking. So you want to have good boots on there so you don't roll your ankles finding a divot that you didn't know existed for 6 months because the mower would just usually hop right on over that. But now that you're walking almost, every square foot of the lawn as you do leaf cleanups, blowing leaves into a pile or, leaves into that wood line, you don't want to be rolling ankles. By the way, buy them for your guys, man. If you got a good company going, you guys have, some money in the bank and these guys have been with you for 6-7 months, fall in the winter. It's going to be cold, dark, in the morning, dark at night. Bring them some coffee once in a while. Bring the guys some donuts once in a while. Buy your guys some boots, man. Just say, hey, dude, what size shoe are you? Just out of curiosity. I'm a 10. I'm a 10 and a half. All right, cool, man. And then, dude, a week from now, go surprise them with some boots. They're $100, $175. Like, I buy Rob stuff all the time. Well, that's because Cujo and Isotune send you stuff. No, I buy my guy stuff and then I go take care of him. I bought Rob $400 worth of, what are the pants from Duluth? The men's fire hose mid-weight pant. He went and bought them. I gave him my credit card and my zip code, but I said, go buy yourself some pants. He bought 4 pairs. They were like, $300+ I bought Rob some badass Oakleys. They were like, I don't know, $250. But I take care of my employees. I take care of my guys. I'm very appreciative. We make money off of them working for us, so let's take care of them. Go order your guys a round of boots. If you guys go to the, I don't know where Carhartt is sold besides like the Carhartt stores. Maybe you can buy it online. But those big, thick brown Carhartt jackets, like those are not cheap. $150. Buy one for you. Buy one for your guys. But again, all this stuff is equipment that we've got to pay for. And so let's get into the pricing. I think this is the meat for what a lot of you guys are looking for anyway. When it comes down to the pricing, my pricing in the beginning of the year, or my first 10 years in business, I should say, was awful. We used to do like leaf cleanups, like $99. We'll do all your leaf cleanup work. And we were tarping. We were blowing the backyard into the wood line. The front, we were tarping or raking. And it sucked. We didn't make any money. Now, we made money to pay the bills, but when you really broke it down, I was probably making $15 an hour. No doubt about it. My employees, all my helpers along the way, they were making way more than what we were doing. Some people are always asking, like, what's a minimum you should do a leaf cleanup for? I've heard people say like 4 times the weekly mow rate is like a good base. So if you got a little $35 postage stamp lawn, $125 minimum. Now, if there's no leaves on the entire property, like no trees, and you're going to get a little bit of leaves from the neighbors, but they just want it mowed, they just want it vacuumed, they want it to look like, you know, the fairway at a golf course and just have that really buzz cut look where you drop the deck down to 2.75 inches, maybe 2.5 inches. You get that ultra low cut and just buzzes the grass. That right there, those stripes and what that looks like, I would do $125 just as a minimum. Might take you half hour, 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe they got a couple hostas, a couple daylilies. You just use a pruning cutback knife, chop that stuff down at the base. And, you know, with daylilies, you can just usually throw that stuff into the front yard, suck it up with the mower, go slow so it doesn't clog or jam anything, right? But a base cleanup like that for us would be $125. From there, it's like $175 per hour for my rig. And if there's two guys, $225 an hour. I don't know if that's high. I don't know if it's low. We used to do like cleanup videos, and I'm going to do a bunch more this year because we're going to be doing a lot more cleanups. But 2, 3, 4 years ago, I would do YouTube videos all the time. $145 in 45 minutes. $225 in 1.5 hours. Well, we were way down. We were at like $125 per hour rates with my equipment and my setup, and that's not going to cut it. Why is it not going to cut it? Well, I'll give you guys the for instance and the visual. We have a $50,000 truck. Okay, you can get by with a $20,000 truck, but bottom line, you guys listening in, somebody in between here has got a $12,000 truck and a $70,000 truck, but all of our trucks are 20 to 50 grand. Somebody's got to pay for that. Somebody's got to pay for the $12,000 mower. Somebody's got to pay for that. Somebody's got to pay for the $500 backpack blowers. Somebody's got to pay for our $12, $15, $18, $25 an hour guys. Somebody's got to pay for the dump insert for $3,800. Somebody's got to pay the dump fees. Somebody's got to pay for the fuel. We go through tons of two-stroke oil and gas, right? In the summer, we can get by with 4 to 6 gallons of two-stroke 50-to-1 mix. In the fall, dude, we're using that per day, right? And that's a $40 a day in fuel. That adds up outside of what the mowers cost, right? Deck belts, and then also the power vacuum for the bagger system. Those belts snap and break too, especially when it's colder. You can go through 1 or 2. Always keep extra belts on hand. Always a transmission belt and a deck belt for the mower. And then for the bagger of the leaf vac, have the extra leaf vac belt. Those belts are clutch. They're $20. Throw them in your cabinets. Throw them in underneath your seats in your truck. Always keep those 3 belts with you. But if I was doing a leaf cleanup for $99 or $149 and it took us an hour, hour and a half, you know, I've got $100,000 worth of equipment at your property. Do you think logically that $99 an hour is going to work? I'm not being a butthead. I'm just saying, like, straight up, $99 an hour is not going to work with you and an employee. Like, combined, $99 for an hour ain't going to work. My new rates, by the way, a lot of this stuff was some gumption that I learned from Keith Kalfas's talk, Know Your Worth. I don't know what episode that is in the podcast, maybe 30s, 40s, or 50s. It was a talk that Keith did at Launchpreneur Academy Live last year, by the way. Absolutely stole the show. One of the best talks. Can't wait to see what Keith brings this year at Launchpreneur Academy Live. By the way, if you want to get a ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live, we are already at like 65% capacity. And that's before we made any announcements on social media that the event is for sure a go-go. Okay, like pre-sale tickets, we sold 60% capacity. If you got a ticket, I love you. Thank you for supporting what we're doing, believing in me, believing in the event. Corey Ballard, Nick Carlson, Stanley Dirt Monkey, Keith Kalfas, a good friend of mine, Jeff Joyner. He's going to be on the podcast, professional motivational speaker and storyteller. He will help you with sales training like nobody else. That guy alone, I swear on my soul, that guy alone will be worth your ticket price alone to hear him talk for an hour, maybe even twice if we got time. There'll be live panels. There'll be equipment demos. There'll be giveaways. It's going to be epic. You get a ticket for $179 at launchpreneuracademy.com. And then if you want a spouse ticket, email me. We'll PayPal you an invoice for $149 for your spouse. Immediate spouse, immediate boyfriend, girlfriend, immediate husband, wife. No foreman pricing. Sorry, guys. Let's just keep it from there. No brothers. That they got to pay a full price ticket too. All right. So when we're trying to bid out these pricing for these leaf cleanups, for us, it's $175 for the main rig and myself, $50 an hour per guy after that. We always talk about your per man hour rate. Paul Jameson does a great job trying to help us all understand that we want to be making $55 per man hour anytime we have a guy on a property. That's not like a solid rule of thumb, but it's a good baseline if you're adding anything to the mix when you start adding employees, okay? So, for example, I got a $100,000 rig going down the road. You guys got $40,000, $50,000 rigs going down the road. Even if it's just you and the $12,000 truck, a $2,000 utility trailer, and you got a right standard ZK for 10 grand, right? And then you got a little Catch Pro on there. Somebody's got to be paying for that $400 or $500 Catch Pro. Okay, somebody's got to be paying for the ZK. Somebody's got to be paying for your $30,000, $40,000 rig doing leaf cleanups. By the way, if you guys want a rule of thumb, so $175 for my rig going down the road, $50 more when I got Rob with me. So basically, we're at $225 per hour doing our leaf cleanups. Now, a leaf cleanup for us, let's say it takes an hour and a half. Well, a leaf cleanup now is $350. And I learned that from Keith Kalfas with his talk, Know Your Worth, because I used to do leaf cleanups just until last year, just until last fall. I would do a leaf cleanup. It would take us an hour, hour and a half. And I'd be like, all right, $175. And I'd be like, oh boy. And I was like, man, this is like $250, $275, $325 all day. Well, I remember literally, Keith Kalfas did his talk. We got 10 inches of snow. Everybody plowed snow. I went on a vacation for 10 days from that Friday. I came back 2 weeks later Friday, and we knocked the heck out of all of our leaf cleanups. And I remember literally, I can just visualize it right now. I was on a Tuesday. I was on a court. I've got 5 leaf cleanups I do all in a row. We were there for like 6 hours doing 5 homes, and I think we did $1,800, something ridiculous, because I was like, you know what? Last year I did this one for $175. No, that's $275. This one I did for $225. Hell no, this one's $350. And by the way, when you do leaf cleanups with customers, yes, give them a quote, give them a price. Say, hey, we can knock all this stuff out, and it looks like it's going to take us 2 hours with 2 guys, so 4 labor hours. We could probably do it for $275, $325, $375, whatever. Give your customers a range. That's what I do with leaf cleanups. Almost everything, I always try to give like an exact price. But with leaf cleanups, I say, honestly, just depends how much we haul away. Depends how long we're pruning. Depends how long we're there. It depends, a couple different factors. I would say a good leaf cleanup for you is going to be between $250 and $400. Now, I'm going to be fair. If we get it done in 2.5 hours, then the leaf cleanup is $275. But if we're there, we're hauling a bunch of stuff away. We hauled away 2 yards of material of leaf dust and leaf debris and grass. Then this is going to be a $375 cleanup. So price accordingly based on how much material you're taking away and how much labor it takes you to do it. But to go full circle, when I didn't know my worth, I was doing leaf cleanups for like free. But somebody has to pay for our $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $80,000 rigs set up and labor, and it's a lot of effort. One thing I would say is get some gumption about you when you're charging your leaf cleanups. Don't base your price based on how long it takes you to do it. Base your price on how long it would take the customer to do it. If a customer is like, $425 to clean up this acre of property on all these leaves, and that's how it takes, and it takes you 3 hours, you and a guy, 3 hours. It takes you 3 hours with $40,000 of equipment. Imagine how long it's going to take that customer. You guys ever finish a job and you get done with it and it was $225 or $275 or $425, and the customer goes out and goes, man, I'm so grateful you were here and were able to do this. This would have took me all weekend, or this would have took me all week. That's a great sign that even if it's $375, you'd be surprised customers will pay that all day if they can stay inside on the weekend and watch, NFL or college football or whatever people are into on the weekend, right? Paul was saying something about Dave Ramsey, like rich people don't like leaves. They don't want to go out there and do it. It's true. It's true. Like your dual income, subdivision homes, people with nice homes, all the clients that we're trying to target, 30 to 60-year-old crowd, right? The dual income, just regular America, middle class, upper middle class America, they don't want to be doing their yard work, man. And they don't mind doing it in the summer, in the spring. They all get the itch. They all want to do something because they've been cooped up from winter. In the fall, no way, dude. They got school activities. They've got a bunch of other responsibilities. People working from home. Look, people will pay top dollar for leaf cleanup. Don't be doing the leaves for $50. Don't be doing the leaf cleanup for $100. Do it for $275, $350, $425. Charge premium for those rates, because don't value it and price it off of how long it's going to take them to do it how long it's going to take you to do it. Price it off of how long it's going to take them to do it. And if somebody says to me, they're going to take all weekend to do that, and that's, 6 hours on Saturday, another 5 hours on Sunday, that's 11 hours. Man, and you can knock that out in 3 hours. Heck yeah, that's worth $425. You just gave that guy back his weekend to go do whatever he wants to do. Go play golf, go watch football. So, all right, these are some helpful tips just to do leaf cleanups. We talked about equipment. We talked about pricing. We talked about where to dump, where to haul. Trying to go through my notes really quick here to see if we got anything left on the table. All right, I think that's what we're going to do it, guys. I think we're going to just kind of nip it in the bud there. If you want to learn a little bit more about pruning, pricing, and all that stuff, that's all contained in the fall cleanup and spring and fall cleanup training program. You can get that at launchpreneuracademy.com. It's $49. Learn a new skill set for life. We teach you the how-tos in the office, the equipment basics. Then we also go do, I think, 3 different leaf cleanups to give you guys 3 different properties. I think it was 2 residential and a commercial to give you guys different examples about how to do cleanups. Buy it now, study, learn, download the audio so you can listen to them a couple more times. And then when you start knocking out leaf cleanups, you guys will be good to go. All right, guys, all the new training resources are now available at launchpreneuracademy.com or should be available tomorrow by the time you guys are listening to this. We're going to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to take it away for the rest of the show announcements. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Can't wait to catch up with you guys on the next one.
I am thrilled to discover that Brian buys his employees those coveted Cujo boots. I'm a 10.5, by the way. Yeah, and I did almost roll my ankle tripping over one of Paul's empty Pellegrino bottles here in the studio. And certainly protective footwear would help every time I drop a stack of CDs on my foot. Yeah, Mr. Producer still likes working with the old compact disc. Our next episode is going to be a great one. Brian's going to be talking with Caleb and Brittany Allman from the Hardscape Academy. Liz Fullerton, also a part of the show as well. And I truly think it's going to turn out to be one of our most listened to podcasts of the year. One final time, if you've not purchased the whole ball of wax at launchpreneuracademy.com, it's never going to be at this price again. Have a blessed day, friends.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.